Can I come in, sir? Good evening, sir. Good evening. Good evening, sir. Thank you, sir.
How do you pronounce your name?
Srishti.
Srishti.
Srishti, sir.
Srishti.
Yes, sir.
Not Srishti.
Yes, sir.
That is creation.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And you are a chemical engineer by training?
Yes, sir.
The obvious question is, after doing engineering, and that too in the first division, with 8.3% score, why do you still want to go in for the civil service? Kyun?
Sir, I believe that in a job as dynamic as being a civil servant, all my capacities will be utilized, and I will be able to contribute to the social welfare and do something for the people at a direct interface.
And what are your special attributes whereby you should be selected to the civil service?
Sir, I am enthusiastic and determined, and I'm resilient to challenges. Whatever challenges that I face, I make sure that I come over it and again get back with a renewed vigor. And I have a result-oriented approach. So I make sure that efficiency is a target.
Efficiency in?
Efficiency in the work allotted, sir.
भगवद गीता में भगवान कृष्ण ने अर्जुन से कुछ कहा है, something close to what you are saying. What is that clause?
So I'm unable to recall at this moment.
बताइए क्या है वो? If at all, have you read भगवद गीता?
I have not read, sir, but
एक कहीं उन्होंने कहा भगवान कृष्ण ने अर्जुन से योगा कर्मसु कौशलम. कभी सुना या पढ़ा है?
no, sir.
नहीं. भोपाल में बहुत साल पहले there was a tragedy in the chemical engineering sector. What was that?
So in 1984,
Yes.
there was a Bhopal gas tragedy in which the toxic gas methyl isocyanate got leaked, and so this was the worst chemical disaster in the entire world.
Why did it occur?
So the after analysis show that there were lapses with regard to the hazard management system of the plant. These systems were not in place, some of them were not working properly. So adequate budget was not allocated towards the safety side. And this led to a failure, and when the gas was formed, it directly got ejected in the atmosphere.
If you get into the civil service and you are very young, you might become joint secretary chemicals and petrochemicals. Someday you may become secretary chemicals and petrochemicals. What would you do to ensure that these occurrences don't occur, they don't happen?
So the first safety thing here is that whatever chemical plants which are manufacturing or dealing with very toxic substances should be placed at the away from the mainland city, in the fringes or even beyond that. This is the first. And second, sir, the safety management systems have to really be in place and working. So proper audit needs to be conducted from time to time, and this needs to be implemented, sir.
Tell me, you are Srishti Jayant Deshmukh.
Yes, sir.
I heard of one personality named C.D. Deshmukh. Have
Yes,
you
sir.
heard? Who was
Yes, sir.
he?
Sir, C.D. Deshmukh was one of the first civil servants of our country. He's also had the distinction.
He was the?
Civil servant, sir. One of the first. And sir, he's also been the governor of the Reserve Bank of India.
Was he also the finance minister?
Yes.
Yes, sir. As well the
He
finance
resigned the
minister.
ICS and
Joined
Nehru made him the
politics.
finance minister.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Chintamani Dwarkanath Deshmukh.
Yes, sir.
Sorry.
Now, what could, going back to the Bhopal gas tragedy, what could have been done, to save the lives? Because what we hear is that maybe 30,000 lives were affected, lot of generational disabilities, etc., being caused.
Yes, sir.
So did the district administration, do something to prevent that, to prevent the damage that has occurred, but after that?
So I believe the district administration could have been much more proactive in at least ensuring if the safety systems are working and in place.
Something specific which it could have done, which would have prevented a lot of deaths, you see.
So not allowing the plant to be placed in an area.
That was there. In that situation, we hear that if wet cloth, or handkerchief was kept on the mouth and covering the nose, then that would have helped in not inhaling the poisonous gas.
So the incident took place at the midnight,
Yes.
and the gas which had leaked, even the doctors were not aware that it was methyl isocyanate. So adequate steps could not be taken. Probably at least the hospitals nearby should know which gas is being worked up here, so that in case of any exigency they can take this step. But they were not aware. And when the cases started coming up and deaths started piling, only then they could suggest or do something.
Have you heard of something called online disaster management plan, offline disaster management plan?
I'm sorry, sir, I have not heard of it.
See, that is something which you should look online, offline, off-site and on-site.
Yes, sir, off-site and on-site.
So are you clear about this,
Yes, sir.
on-site and off-site?
Yes, sir. So drawing cues from this case, on-site disaster management could have been the safety systems, the hazard management system, the flare system, and off-site like the district administration being prepared. If any exigency takes place, they have a proper plan, a plan of action that they can take place, and so as to prevent the deaths from occurring.
What is this CBI Golden Jubilee essay competition?
So,
Which CBI is this?
so Central Bureau of Investigation.
They have an essay competition?
So the district level, the CBI office, in 2013, they conducted the competition at the Golden Jubilee year, and I participated and won a prize at the district level.
What was the topic like?
So the topic was in Hindi, Bhrashtachar. I wrote in Hindi an essay.
Sorry?
So corruption, Bhrashtachar.
Okay. Srivastava?
Have you heard about ASER? ASER.
Yes, sir.
What is the full form?
So annual survey of education.
What are its latest
Hard.
findings?
So very recently in the report, they have reported that more than 50% of the students of 5th standard are unable to read or perform the mathematical operations which are there in the syllabus of class 3rd. So there is a learning outcome quality gap which they have pointed out. And secondly, they also say that at the primary level, the students are coming up, but after that the dropout rate is increasing. So they have called for an integrated approach towards primary and secondary education.
Now these phrases like integrated approach and all that sound very nice, but what will be your prescription, suppose as a district magistrate in a particular district, to have this integrated approach towards say reducing the gap of learning gap,
Yes,
number
sir.
one, and number two, retention.
Yes. So there is a transitional phase from primary to secondary. The presence of schools has to be increased at the village, so that, like for example, sir, girls drop out from school if the school is far away. So we can make sure that the schools are located close, or at least they have conveyance facilities that are safe to take them to the schools. And so secondly, special attention could be placed towards those students who are more prone to dropping out.
Let me tell you, Bihar government, when it started its career, Mr. Nitish Kumar, they embarked on 2 programs, another 3. 1 uniform, second bicycle for girls, and third books also. But still, Bihar continues to be on the map. You must have seen the map in the ASER report.
Yes, sir.
It's very light yellow.
Yes,
that is 8% and below. So what would be the integrated approach? What critical element is still missing in the whole process?
Sir, in such areas, I believe we need some innovative approaches. For example, we
don't come out with this phrase. I am saying single most factor which is important for this thing, for retention and learning gap.
So proper attendance of the teachers and trained teachers. If teachers make the teaching and learning interesting, I believe the students will get attracted towards.
We are living in 21st century, and I personally hear so much about virtual learning and virtual classroom. Then in that case, do you think that the virtual classrooms can replace the presence of teachers?
Sir, I will not say replace, but I will say it can augment the performance of the teachers. It can support the teachers in delivering or teaching properly. It can support.
We heard of this slogan, minimum government, maximum governance.
Yes, sir.
What does it mean?
So it means that the system of administration, whether it is the officers or the political persons, that needs to be minimum, but the interface, the public service delivery, that needs to be maximum.
So what has the government done in this direction? Has there been any change in last 5 years?
So the government has focused on the online delivery of public services. They have tried to streamline getting in single window clearance for establishing whether entrepreneurs, they have been supporting entrepreneurs. Then direct benefit transfer has also been promoted for the subsidies, so that the interface of the officers or local officials is reduced and people can directly get the services.
Anything more is required to be done?
So I believe the citizen needs to be empowered and aware of all of these schemes, and the technology level we need to work, sir. A lot of times the systems are not in working due to internet connectivity.
Will this Digital India scheme help in this?
Yes, sir. Digital India.
What is the progress so far under this scheme, Digital India?
Sir, in the Digital India scheme, in the BharatNet phase 1 has been implemented, and the gram panchayats have been connected, and optical fiber network has been laid.
What is the target?
So the target is, I think, sir, 1 lakh gram panchayats is the target.
Till when?
I'll read on that, sir. I'm not.
Yeah. Housing for all, something which we keep hearing about. What does that program entail?
So housing for all by 2022, they entail that the households should be provided, the family and households should be provided with a home, and they have in this provided certain subsidy and financial support to the families to take or buy a house.
Houseless persons have to be provided
House.
dwelling units.
Yes, yes.
Households in that.
Yes, yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
There is a women's reservation bill pending somewhere in Parliament. Okay. What view do you have? You can be frank. Why is it not being taken to its final stage?
So it is unfortunate that the bill is not being promoted, because right now the representation of women in Parliament is like around 11 to 12%, and this does not represent the sheer population of women. It is the women parliamentarians who can promote the interests and especially the issues of women. So this needs to be promoted.
What comes in the way? What stands in the way now in that becoming a legislation and an amendment?
So I think lack of political will.
Just one more question for you. There was a sort of an unprecedented flood in the state of Kerala in recent times.
Yes,
What
sir.
caused the flood?
Sir, 2-3 reasons. The first, natural, sir, that the amount of rainfall that occurred in a very short span of time. Secondly, sir, the dam systems, the dams were already full to their levels, so more water could not be accumulated, and the floods occurred. And sir, third, very important, the ecological side of it. A lot of development work has happened, and the fragile ecosystem of Kerala has not been taken care of.
One last point.
Sorry.
One last point. Your family has migrated from Maharashtra to Madhya Pradesh. Is it like that?
Yes, my grandfather had employment in BHEL Bhopal. He came to Bhopal, and so the entire family is here.
Deshmukh are only in Maharashtra, Bombay. My friend was Vice Chancellor, Sanjay Deshmukh. Anyway, now you stay in Bhopal. There are two very interesting places. One is Sanchi Stupa,
Yes, sir.
and another is the Bhimbetka Caves.
Yes.
You tell us something about these two places, why they are famous.
So Sanchi Stupa and Bhimbetka, both are UNESCO World Heritage Sites. If talking about Sanchi Stupa, it is a stupa built by Ashoka, the king, and a very important place for the Buddhists. It has been very nicely preserved, and the entire stupa structure as well as the entrance, its carvings are very beautiful to watch. The second place that you mentioned, Bhimbetka Caves.
No, one more thing is important, because the Sanchi Stupa land is not with the government of India. That is with the Thai government. You check it.
I'll read on that,
Particular
sir.
that area, the people they come from there, they will open the temple, and then there is a huge fair for that.
Okay, I'll read on that,
Yes.
sir.
And then
And-
Bhimbetka Caves.
Yes, sir. So Bhimbetka Caves is the heritage site of ancient India. In the caves, there are about 500 caves there. Only 12 are open, but they reflect how the ancient people tried to show us by different pictures. There is a zoo rock wherein the animals and all of these are depicted.
Okay, suppose you are selected for your civil services, and then you tell me which department you will prefer, your own preference, maybe government what they give you, different story, and what you will do most, your best in that department.
So
I prefer you join the women welfare department.
yes, sir.
So
I'd
what
like
would
to
be your
go.
priority areas? New schemes, new initiatives, apart from the existing ones.
So I'll focus on implementing the schemes that are already there. I believe we have adequate network, but the system, the delivery and implementation is lacking. So I'll try to focus on the areas.
Unemployment is the major problem, it's still in MP.
Yes, sir.
And then
Well,
women
sir,
economy.
साहब आप इजाज़त दें तो मैं इस लड़की से एक सवाल पूछ लूँ
पूछिए सर, पूछिए.
बेटा the last 5 years 10 years lots of incidents are reported on crime against women and girls, including cases of pedophiles. As a joint secretary in the social welfare ministry or women and child development ministry, what steps would you recommend to your minister or the prime minister so as to curb such tendencies, such crimes? बताइए.
Sir, curbing this crime would require two approaches, a short term and a long term.
Please answer him. I am putting the question on his behalf.
So in the short term, I believe the punitive action should be taken against the persons who have committed the crime. Once we have seen, sir, in the POCSO Act, the conviction rate is really low. So the persons who are committing the crime are not being booked. So the short term will be punitive action, speedy trials.
का इंसिडेंट हुआ था वो कितने साल हो गए उस बात को?
Yes, sir.
3 साल हो गए, 2 साल हो गए,
तीन या 4 साल हो गए.
2 साल, 16,
Yes, sir.
2016.
अभी तक फाइनली the sentences have not been carried out. तो
Yes,
क्या
sir.
कीजिएगा आप? What would you do? I am not
Judiciary
saying, but
system
what
is
would you
too
do?
slow.
Sir, we cannot like speak for the judiciary, but I believe the police investigative system, they can be provided with adequate expertise and training, so that any such incident occurs, they should on a priority
The
level.
judicial process also can be accelerated, no?
Sir, we can provide our suggestions to that area.
Okay, you prepare it carefully, and then you tell me two more small questions. Raja Bhoj, airport is Raja Bhoj, Open University. So who was Raja Bhoj? What was his contribution in the development of Bhopal?
Sir, Raja Bhoj was an 11th century Parmar king, and one of his chief contributions that he made the largest man-made lake, which is the Bhopal lake. He was the one who constructed the dam, and the entire area is man-made. The lake is man-made, so this has been the chief contribution. And sir, that's all.
Because recently you must have heard that Kareena Kapoor is going to fight election from Bhopal because SAF, all that they have 2, 3, 5-star hotels.
Sir, the Bhopal state which is there, Saif Ali Khan has a lineage
Yeah, they
descending
have
from
their
it.
huge hotel.
So the hotel which you are referring to
So
is...
which party she will be contesting, from which party? Any idea?
No, sir, I'm not aware of the party.
We'll summon you again after a few moments to share our impressions about it.
Yes, sir.
You can
Thank
pick
you
up.
so much.